Okay, we are going. Hey, friends. I am super excited. Yeah. You want to wait till I started recording to talk?
Yeah, you talk loud.
Okay. I'm super excited. I have Chrissy on here, and I fell in love with her because we were in the same comment pod, and I was like, she is so cute, and she is also friends with Caroline, and I'm like, Caroline, I want to be friends with cute Chrissy is what I always call you, Chrissy. So I'm going to have you start with just talk about who you are, start with just your story, and then we'll move on.
Okay, so I usually have lashes on, y'all, so that's why I look like barefaced right now. I'm not so cute right now, but yeah, my name's Chrissy. I am 20 years old, a full-time college student. So I started this business a little over a year ago. I started when the $20 kits were the thing because I was scared to invest $99. And so I was like, you know what, I can do 20. So I was working 2 jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, in the military, just doing all the things, trying to make money, but I was still coming short, paying bills, and then just had nothing left. And so I saw this girl on Instagram, obviously making money from her phone, and she was making way more than me. And I'm over here like struggling, working 2 jobs. And so I was super skeptical about it because with my generation, we have a lot of these scams going around, like on Snapchat and just all the things. And so I just assumed that's what it was. And so I was like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. But I kept watching her. She was paying off credit card debt, just all the things. And so I finally took the leap into it. I promoted to Ruby my second month, earned the $1,000 bonus, promoted to Emerald, earned the $5,000 bonus, and then promoted to Diamond and earned the $10,000 bonus. And so now I am Diamond, pushing for double. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I talk about ice. Okay, so do you work mostly on Instagram or like what's your main platform?
So when I started, the person I enrolled with she actually enrolled me off of Instagram, and she kind of like switched me over to Facebook because that's where we had like all the groups and all the trainings. And so I kind of switched over to Facebook and just started using that. But I've kind of switched over to Instagram because I like it more. I found out I can be a lot more creative with it, like with the IGTVs. And I just feel like with Facebook, for me, I don't want to post 5 times a day because, I'm a full-time college student, so I don't want to have to keep doing interactive posts. I'd rather just do stories. So I've kind of like transitioned over to Instagram.
Yeah, I love your Instagram. So I was wondering if you used Facebook too, if it was mainly just Instagram, because your Instagram is so cute all the time. All your pictures are like so cute. Okay, so let's just jump right in. I asked Chrissy like what she felt like her strength was, and she said she's pretty good at enrolling distributors, and I feel like that's something that we have all been like pushing for the past couple months. So I just want you to dive right in and talk about how you enroll distributors and if you message for distributors, host posts. Like I know you host posts because you're the one that like introduced me to the whole Instagram host post stuff. So just go wherever it takes you.
Okay, so I actually have notes because I'm a squirrel brain. I'll go everywhere. So I have notes. That way I stay on track. But the number one thing with enrolling distributors, I feel like from the very first jump, because I enrolled a distributor my first day of joining, like before a loyal customer, because, we wanted to take advantage of the $20 codes. But I was just really excited because I, went on my stories and talked about how I just joined this company and I was about to make, $500 a month. Like I just shouted it out. So I was excited. I talked about where I was going. So I just talked about the goals that I had, which was at that time making $200 to $500 a month. So wherever you're at right now, just shout out what goal is next for you. So if you're wanting to go diamond, make sure on your stories or on your page or whatever, you're really excited about it and you're talking about it. Like it doesn't matter if they don't or are not in the company, they need to know what a diamond is because of you, because you're talking about it so much. But yeah, so I do host a post for distributors. I sometimes message, like cold message, whatever you want to call it. I sometimes message for them because that's how I was found, was from a message. Because like I would have never known about it if somebody wouldn't have reached out to me and shared this amazing opportunity. So I do sometimes, but when I saw I was getting really good results from the host to post, I started doing that a lot. So I do host a post for DTs, and I can show you guys the picture that I use, just so you can get an idea. If you want to make your own, you can use over, unfold, whatever you want to, because I just realized that over, you can have like a free portion of it, but I do pay for it. But that's kind of what it looks like. It says positions open, and if you guys want to go back and watch the recording and like screenshot this or whatever, you can. But it just says, my friend Chrissy is welcoming any ladies 18 plus who are positive, disciplined, willing to learn, and looking to bring in an extra $200 to $500 or $200 to $1,000 from their social medias.
I definitely need to change mine and make it say ladies, because I get like random dudes messaging like summer, and I know I shouldn't like prejudge and just have the conversation, but I just don't respond. So I need to add ladies into mine.
I'm the same way. I make sure I have 18 plus and ladies, because if not, you get men and people who have braces and are like 12 years old. So make sure you have those two things. And then it just says like work from Insta and or Facebook, weekly bonuses, pick your own hours, earn a $100 shopping spree. And then it says DM opportunity too, and it has like a little blank right there for them to put my @name, because like I said, I do Instagram, and so I want a place for them to add my @name on their story, so people can just go right to my page and just say, hey, opportunity, and we can get to chatting about it. I've already signed 2 DTs this month from just, posting on Instagram. So that's like planting the seed. It's like getting out host to post and getting people in your DMs saying opportunity. But you also have to like water that seed, and which is live posting. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to post. I don't know where to start. If you can't think of a post every single day, at least post every other day, because with Instagram, we're starting to see that you don't have to necessarily post every single day, but don't be that person that like posts something and then goes away for like, 7 days, because then, people don't want to see that. People want to see consistency, and you want to be that reminder in their ear that, hey, you can do this. Hey, I want you on my team. Hey, you'd be good at this. That's what those posts are for, and that's like what's watering the seed, as well as following up, because I feel like that's important, because Jamie followed up with me 3 or 4 times before I said yes to it, and some people need like that reassurance or like that reminder, because we are busy, because people who you're talking to about this opportunity have kids, have 3 jobs, are going to school, like they're busy, and this is not necessarily something that's on their mind all the time. So just messaging or following up live posts, and then it starts to bloom and you start seeing something from it. Another thing that I feel like is important with just enrolling distributors is just caring about people. And I feel like you don't have to just necessarily have that trait of like, being wanting to help people all the time, but just caring about their situation. When they open up to you and they tell you why they need this income, don't be like, okay, yeah, have you ever heard of network marketing? You need to talk to them a little bit and say, I can relate to you. Find a way to relate to them. I talk to moms too. I enroll moms on my team. I relate to them because I have a nephew. And so I'm like, girl, I understand. I see how much diapers cost. I want to spoil him. And I know that's what you want to do as well. Just kind of talk to them about their situation a little bit. And then that's when I go into talking about network marketing and the company and all the things. So that's like what I've seen when I started. And what's happening now is me caring more about them is helping so much with signing them quicker. So not having to follow up 20,000 times. They sign quicker because they know that, I do care about you. I want you on my team for the right reasons, not just to make money from you. So I'll give you guys a follow-up message, actually, since we're talking about that. I should have had this ready. 1 sec.
You're good. Take your time.
Okay, so just something simple like, hey girl, thinking about you. Something tells me fear is holding you back. I just want you to know I believe in you. I know this business can change your life like it did mine. You're not alone. We can do this together. I have no doubt that there was a bonus at the time, that Ruby bonus would help you so much. It's for you. Let's put a plan together to help you earn it. Let's put this fear behind us and do this. So that's something that you can tell like came from the heart and wasn't just typed up real quick.
And I love it because it's like overcoming that objection without them, like, they might not even realize that they're not like signing because of fear. Like that might be like an underlying thing that they don't even realize, like, oh yeah, this is scary. Like they might just be putting it off and like not really think much into why they're putting it off. So that's like overcoming that objection before it even like comes up. And then speaking of what reminded me of that is like Jade's conversations that she has been sharing recently, is really good at like overcoming the objections like before like they get to them basically. So what does your just like a overview, like what's your normal conversation flow go like so you say this and then you say this, like what's like a normal flow?
Okay, so
you don't have to like do it word for word, but just like in general, or word for word, it doesn't matter.
I'll do it word for word just so y'all can, like of course like putting your own little twist on it is like always good, but just like having this outline, because I know when I ask people have they ever heard of network marketing and they say no, the thing that says so a quick rundown on what we do, I got that from Jade.
Okay.
So there are things in here that are from like top leaders, but some of it I just kind of like just talk to them, like I said, like connect to them. So it just says so like if someone reached out to me from a host post, I would say, hey girl, I'd love to talk to you about it. First, tell me a little bit about you and your situation to where you need extra income. So boom, right there, it opens up the door for them to talk to me about what they're going through. And then, they tell me, they usually feel open to voice message me at that time and just to talk. And so then I relate to them depending on what they say, and, we talk about it. And then after that, I go into telling them my story, because I don't want them to feel alone. I want them to know, like, I'm not just this person on social media making a lot of money. I started somewhere. I started struggling. I've been in your spot before. So I tell them my story, but I also tell them how the business has changed that. And then I end it with, have you ever heard of network marketing before? They always say no. So then I send them that message that says, so a quick rundown. And then it says, is that something you want to be a part of? And then they say yes. And then I say, awesome. So I think you'd be fantastic at this. I'm going to send you a friend success story because I think you can relate to her as well. When you get done listening, send me whatever questions you have. Does that sound good? They say yes. I send a success story, which are in the files of our team, the big team page or whatever. And that usually helps as well, because not only are they hearing my story, but they're also hearing how it helped out. So like, for instance, if I'm talking to a mom, I share my story, but I also send them a mom's story on how it has helped them.
I kind of forgot about those. Where are those in the new Wake Price Slay one, or are they in the old one?
I think they're in the old one, but you can like copy and paste them and like send them to your team.
Ooh, I'm gonna look right now. I forgot about those.
Yeah, I didn't used to use them, to be honest, when they sent them out, but then I had a friend in the business who was, and she was getting good feedback. So I started doing that because, like I said, like they hear your success, plus they're hearing somebody else's, and like, okay, this isn't just working for one person. This is like actually legit.
Oh yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so then
interrupting you.
and so then they usually ask how much after that, because in the success stories they always say something about the price or something. They go into that. And so I say, so this is the message that I send, and I'm going to go into this in a little bit about the price. I say the first step in getting started is purchasing your business builders kit. In your kit, you get over $150 worth of product to either use or sell. It also includes your very own website, all the training and tips from your mentor, and a chance to earn a $100 shopping spree plus endless bonuses. The kit is $99. If you're wanting the steps, let me know so I can ask you a few questions. And then they say they're ready, usually. And so I'll give you guys the questions that I asked them. And the reason I asked them questions is because, one, I want to sign serious distributors, because I don't want to just sign anybody and then I've done went through this whole conversation, and I've gone through all this training for them to just give up in 2 days. So I want to sign people that are serious and that, you know, actually want it. Yes, they can be scared and stuff and not have no idea what they're doing, but I just want them to be serious about it. And so my questions say, why do you want to join? So I want to know their why, because anytime they try to quit in the future, I'm going to go back to that message and be like, so you're going to quit on your kid? Because that's, you know, like that's one of their whys. And so number 2 is, how much money do you want to make monthly? And I want them to give me an exact amount. Number 3 is, how much time daily are you willing to invest to make this work? And then it has like in parentheses 30 minutes to 8 hours. Number 4 is, are you coachable? And then number 5, on a scale of 1 to 10 being I'm so ready to do this, where are you? And the reason I ask that is because if they're a 5, we can still chat and talk about maybe what's holding them back. But if they're a 10, I'm like, okay, let's do this. And so that's like my whole conversation. And I've been using this for like 5 months, and I mean, it's been doing good. I kind of switch up, like I said, to relate to them, but as far as like all that other stuff, I just keep it the same.
And I love that it's so like laid back and casual. Like it's not anything complicated. It's just like straightforward. I just put those questions in chat so everyone can see them if they didn't get them down. But I love that. Okay, so then once you get them signed and they're like, yes, okay, I'm ready. How do you go about like getting them jump started?
So I actually have a checklist. So I'll share that with y'all. Most of y'all will probably have to go back and watch this because I'm going to go through it fast. But okay, so one thing that I realized is people are scared to ask questions, because I was scared to ask questions. But I had a lot of questions. So I wanted to know like different things I can do to grow my business fast. I needed money fast, but I was scared to like go too fast, I guess, or ask too many questions. So the very first thing I do is add them into groups. So I want them in all my team pages, all my team chats, or whatever we have. And then I actually have I have a team page. I have a welcome video. I have a video on how to get your first 4 loyal customers, and a video on explaining host to post. So basically I tag them in those videos. I make them make their dirt list. And, you know, obviously most of the time they don't get 100, but we get some to reach out to. So they make their dirt list. They send me a picture. I show them what their website is. That way, like if their mom wants to order something, they know exactly what their website is and where she needs to go. So then after that, they see their website. They see eSuites because they go in there at first. They see eSuites, they see their website, they have their dirt list. So then after that, I give them a message to send to everybody on their dirt list, and I'll give you guys that too. It just says, hey mom, I just started a new business to bring in an extra income, and I'm super excited about it. I wanted to reach out to you and see if you'd support me towards my first goal. I have spots open for my health and beauty boxes right now. Could I give you some more information? And like obviously if it's people on their dirt list, it's their aunts and not uncles, but aunts and cousins and like, you know, that kind of thing. So I always tell people, like, if that doesn't sound like you, switch it up a little bit and just talk to them like you know them. Or if it's like I made my Nana sign up. I like didn't give her a choice. I called, I was like, hey, I need you to order a product real quick. And so I let them know like that's okay to do if that's your family and friends and things like that. So I give them that message, and usually they get like 1 or 2 loyal customers from that. Now, if they don't, it's fine because there's other ways to get customers. But so after that, then I talk about a planner and why it's important, because now we're talking to people and now we're getting dates out of people who need to order. And then and so next I send them a couple story slides to put on their story, because I want their, you know, people that they're talking to.
I'm just making notes in the comments in case you're trying to read that. I'm like making notes for myself.
Yeah, that's fine. So I let them know, like I give them stories. So one thing that I did that was bad when I first joined is I was like, go put stuff on your stories. And they're like, well, where do I even get stories from? And so now when they're new, I just send them what I want them to put up. And so that's been a huge game changer for me. So I send them stories. That way people know, like, they didn't get hacked. They're actually doing this. And, and then I teach them host to post right after that. So they talk to their warm market. And now we're going to go into host to posting. When I first started, I was told to message for loyal customers, and it didn't work for me. But then host to post came out, and that like worked so well. So do just what works for you, find out what doesn't, all the things. But so I make them a host to post picture, and I'll share with y'all what that looks like. So again, I don't tell them to go make a host to post picture because they have no idea what that is. So I just make it for them and send it, and it looks like that.
Cute.
It just says, my friend is looking for a few coffee, what does it say? Is looking for 3 coffee lovers that want to lose weight, talks about what it does, and then it says DM coffee to, has the blank, and then for the more info. And then it just has like a result picture up there, so it shows what it does. And I get them started on host to post. So that's what we're doing for like the next 2 days is host to posting so that they can get their shopping spree. And boom, you just earn a $100 bonus. They got their shopping spree. They're so excited because they see that they can get results from this. And okay, so let me get back to my list.
Yeah, I feel like something our entire team like couldn't do better. It's like we've never been like a huge host to poster team. For some reason, we're like getting there. Every person that comes on and we're like drilling them host to post questions because for some reason that's just never been our thing. We want it to be because we see like how it can bring the fire for everyone. So we're learning, but I love that you're getting newbies like right into it. Like that's what I actually got like a new DT training thing from, I think I got it from Carla Guerrero's team. And I think it's like what, like Shay and Courtney's, who are you under?
I'm under Kirsten Santos. She's somewhere under Jade, but I'm not under.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. She lives like near me actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in Ohio?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that. So yeah, that's who I'm under.
That's funny.
But so I get them into host to post because y'all, host to post, I know you said like y'all are trying to get into it. It changed the game for me. That's how I went diamond, was host to post. Like I don't care what nobody says. I had to switch up my charts 3 days before the month was over. I had to bring in over 2,000 in volume, and I did that from host to post. And that's how I mass enroll distributors, is from host to post, because you have people coming to you. You don't have to go out and message people and get told no, because those no's usually get you down and then you're like, okay, I don't want to message anymore. But if you're going out messaging people and giving them something to enter into, maybe it's a giveaway or maybe it's samples, like people want to say yes to that, and then you're like, oh crap, I'm getting so many yeses, I want to keep doing this. So then it's like fun to work and not necessarily like, oh my gosh, I have to go message. So after host to post, we get there, loyal customers. Then what do I do? Oh, for Instagram, I show them how to do the highlight covers and just make your bio cute, make sure you have a bright profile picture, that kind of thing. And okay, so while they're doing the host to post the very next day, so this is probably like day 2 or day 3, I tell them to go in their kitchen, get a couple coffee mugs, change shirts, and take different pictures. And that teaches them right off the bat how to create pictures, how to do it in one day, because nobody's going to go out every single day and take pictures. And that teaches them also how to make a product post. So their first picture is like them holding the coffee, and then you add in like the result pictures to swipe. So that teaches them product posts. And then, they get their 4 little customers, and then I give them a live post. So obviously they don't know how to do live post yet, so I just give them one. But I still talk them through it, like how I made it. That's huge for me. Is like, yes, I do send them stuff the first few days, but then I tell them why. Like, why do we add to our stories? Why am I sending you this stuff? I'm not just trying to send you all this crazy stuff. So then we go into host to post for the business, and I make them a picture like I showed you guys. I have one. I make them one. I'll just tell them to tell me their favorite color and send me a picture of them, and I make it for them. And then I tell them to get out a piece of paper, and write 6 lists, number 1 through 6, and then we come up with a 6 list for them. Because obviously, like, if I send them my 6 list as a diamond trying to go double, they're going to be very overwhelmed by that because they're just trying to go like ruby. And so they don't necessarily need to go add 300 people on Instagram and Facebook every day like I need to. So we come up with what kind of works for them and what's going to give them results. And then I send them a video from Cheyenne about how to go ruby because it breaks it down like with charts. And you guys can go on her YouTube. It's like a really new one. So it has like the new chart on there. I send them that video and I tell them to send me any questions they have. And then I also tell them to go into their eSuites, print off a chart, because if these guys, like, if they don't have a chart in front of their face, they have no idea where to go and how to get there. So get a Ruby chart printed off. And then I just help them with their conversations. They get 3 people to join their team. They're charted. They're so excited. And then help them get their first weekly bonus, and then they're good. They usually have got it packed down from there.
I love that. I feel like it's like such a good pace. Like, I don't know what I was doing before I got that's similar to the one that I got from Carly, and I recently started doing within like the last, like, I don't know, the last probably 5 or 6 people I've enrolled. And that's like very similar. I don't know what I was doing before, but I was doing it way wrong. Like, I think I was just like, I feel like what you're doing and what I've started to do, it's really like passing the ball back in their court. Like, you're giving them a task. Okay, let me know when you're done. You're giving me a task. Like, before I just like, oh, well, they didn't text me back. And like, yeah, of course I would be like, hey, like, do you want to do this? But I just didn't really know how to talk to distributors, I guess. And that's even like a year and a half in. So I'm glad I finally
that's how I was too. And I started like blaming them. I was like, oh, well, maybe they just don't want this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's not that at all. They just are so scared to ask questions because they feel like they need to know everything. They feel like they need to know how to come up with a life post when honestly, it is easy, but it's not easy. Like, you don't want to just talk about your struggles and that kind of thing. That actually brings me into what I was about to talk about is with how I enroll distributors is I still talk about those times that I couldn't afford to put $10 in my gas tank. Like, I still talk about that, but then I just relate it to the business. And, you know, like I posted on my story the other day about how this business has been putting gas in my car for an entire year now. And that's what I started for and how far it's brought me just from being consistent. And so, like, share your story all the time, even if you feel like you don't have one. You know, if you started this business and you are doing all the things to try to make money and maybe you have like what you want to call a bad paycheck or whatever, and say like you go into your eSuites and see that you only made $38. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, I only made $38, say, oh my gosh, y'all, I just made $38 from my phone. Or you don't have to tell them whatever, but just shout that out because that's something you're making from your phone. Like, we got to start being a little more grateful about what we're getting because this little device is bringing us money. We don't have to get out of our bed necessarily to do it, you know? And so I think just changing your perspective of, wow, I just made $38. How can I like make $238, you know? And know that like you're in control of that. And so that's when it really like changed my perspective about this business. Is one time I think it was like 3 or 4 months in or something. I was like a Ruby or whatever, but obviously like I wasn't making the top average or whatever. And so I made a goal for myself and I just wanted to enroll as many distributors as I could. And that month I actually, paid my car note in weekly bonuses. And I drive a Ford Mustang, so it's like a rent. It's like rent money. And so it was up there, and I was like, wow, I just made 5 weekly bonuses and paid my car note with just weekly bonuses. And that just opened my eyes to what I had my hands on because I have control over what I make. I don't just make commissions, and even if my commissions are bad, I still have the chance to bring in those weekly bonuses and change that. And so, like, the rank that you're at, it literally does not matter at all. You can mass enroll distributors. I was literally a Ruby and enrolled 20 distributors one month. And that's just because I made a decision that I was going to enroll as many as I could. And I still do this today. I actually have this on my wall. It says my September challenge. And so I have a challenge to enroll 5 distributors and pay my apartment rent this month with that. Because like I just paid for books and tuition, and so I'm broke. And so I made a like challenge to pay my rent this month with just weekly bonuses. And so I check mark like every time, or I write their name every time I sign someone, and then I check mark it when I actually got the bonus. And that's just like been a huge part in me signing, is just knowing that it is up to me who I sign. It is up to me how many I sign. And so just like setting those goals like I did up there, and having that in front of your face. Like if you have to, like put it on the fridge on a sticky note and say, you know, I want to sign 2 distributors this month. That's 2 weekly bonuses. And I'm not just saying this like just go sign distributors for weekly bonuses. But when you do this, you know, you sign up these distributors and they're excited because they have no idea what they're doing. They just know they're about to make money. So they're excited, which makes you excited, which makes, you know, it just, that momentum starts coming and all the things. So like what I want y'all to do is something that I actually did this month. So I'm trying to go double diamond, and my charts have been crazy. I was actually scared to print because I moved from dorms to here. So I had like a few weeks at my house. And so I didn't have a chart up. And so when I moved into my apartment, I was like, okay, I'm just going to print out a chart and just look at it and fill it out, what I do have. And I pulled my old one out. So what I did was I erased all the people that weren't working. And it was really hard for me to do because it was like, holy crap, I need a lot of people to chart for double. But it's going to be so much easier to go double. And I mean this for any promotion you're going for. If you erase those people that aren't working and go out and sign distributors that do want to work, you're making weekly bonuses, you're getting points for the incentive trip, you're you're getting all this momentum for your team, you're closer to your promotions because they're excited, so you're enrolling more volume, and it's just a win-win situation when you do that. I know it's hard to do that because we have like this chart in our mind and we feel like this person has to go here and this is our leader, but the leader that I had just quit. And so I've had to like redo everything, find new people that want to do this. And I just, like I said, I signed 2 distributors this month because I was so excited to fill this chart over here because it's staring at me and I see that it's kind of empty. And so that's what I just challenge y'all to do. Is like, if you have a chart and you feel like you're stuck somewhere, you're trying to go ruby or you're trying to go emerald or diamond or whatever, get that chart out. Don't be afraid of it and just erase the people that aren't working. And say, you know, I'm going to sign this distributor. I'm going to sign one here. I'm going to make weekly bonuses. I'm going to get points for this trip. And it's like you're excited all over again.
Yeah, I am a huge believer in having your charts in front of you. And I am guilty of not having a triple chart. Like I have it on my iPad, and maybe that's like where I need to like get like physical charts out in front of me. But when I went emerald, I literally had like a giant dry erase board, and I like took like the little like washi tape from like Joann's and made little boxes, and I had like an emerald chart like in our room. And when I went, I think I used the same like whiteboard thing when I went diamond, but then when I went double, I literally printed on like I got like laminated from like Office Max or whatever, like a giant ass double chart that hung like right there, like in our living room, so it was like staring at me. I guess I don't even know where to start with like a triple. So maybe that's like where I am like in my head, like where do I even, like, you know what I mean? Like where do you start with? Like that chart's huge, but that like is speaking to me, like get it in front of my face. And I am guilty that on my dream board upstairs, I went double in January. On my dream board upstairs, I still have like a double chart. So maybe that's why I'm not promoting, because it's not on my dream board.
Yeah, and I think like you said, just having it in front of you, because not only do you see like, because like mine's right here, I have a big old poster, so I come in, I see it every time I do homework. I sit at my desk a lot because I can read, I can do everything over here, and so I see it all the time. But not only like do I see the boxes that I need to fill, I also see that I need to do something to get those boxes filled. So that means maybe I need to have my 6 list right there too under my chart, so I know what I need, but now I need to know like where I need to get there. And that just comes into like consistency. I was actually having a talk with one of my distributors today who she's ready to like get back into it. And I was like, okay, well, what's something that you feel like you need to change to promote to Ruby or whatever it was. And she was like, I could be more consistent. And I'm like, yeah, because, I just like to use school for an example because I'm in school. I am over here, and what I do is just study like a little bit every day for my exam or whatever. But if I was doing another way, like studying the night before, I can't be mad at my professor for the grade that I get. And it's the same thing with the business. If you are not putting in those little bitty times every single day, you can't be mad at your enroller for the check that you get if you try to put in work 3 days before the month ends. And that's just like a wake-up call. It's like, this business is not your enemy at all. It is supposed to be your best friend. Let me move this out of the way. But yeah, like, don't use this business as like an excuse. Use it to like fire you up. You're supposed to have fun with this, and like you're supposed to make friends with this and all the things. So like, if you are using it as maybe an excuse right now, stop doing that. And like, find, like I said, those little bitty times every single day, even if it is 30 minutes. If you're doing those 30 minutes every day, that's a lot, out of the week that is going to show you results just from being consistent.
I love that. And then speaking of school, like, can you talk a little bit about just like staying disciplined when you're busy? Because like, you're a nursing major. I know how busy that can be and how crazy it is when you're in school and like getting used to school and stuff. Like, we have I have almost a whole entire leg of all college students. So that'll be like super helpful for them.
Yeah, I mainly enroll college students just because I can relate to them. So what I do is, well, when I first started, it was kind of hard because I started this in July. So like, when I started this like schooling in August, it was a huge adjustment to me. But number one is just being organized, and that's just me as a person. Like, I have to have this here. It just has to be organized for me to feel okay. So like, I have a planner over here, have my charts over here, so things are written down, due dates. That's huge. Just write down your due dates for all your assignments, tests, because now, I might be over here working my business, but I see my due dates over there. So it's still, school's on my mind because school is first. Another thing that really helped me was, I actually took this tip from Lauren, who's in the business. She was on her stories talking about how she would put her phone in the bathroom and like go to her desk and do her work, because that's my problem. Like, my phone's always with me. So if it's sitting over here and I'm doing my work and I hear it go off because it's constantly going off, I'm like picking it up and like peeking at it. And so I'm like not even paying attention to my work. So it's like pointless time sitting here. So what I started doing was putting it in the bathroom, shutting the door, coming in here, spending like an hour on my work or 2 hours or whatever the case may be. And that's intentional time on my work. But then I put my work down because you need a break from homework and quizzes. You just need a break. And I'll close my computer, go into the living room, go on my phone, start messaging, and do my business for an hour. That's exactly what I did tonight before I got on this call, was making sure I wasn't doing both at the same time. Because yes, it is cool to multitask, but like not with schoolwork and business, because then I'm like, it just takes your mind off of both of them. So you're not really concentrated on either or. But when I do multitask, it's like during the day when I'm at campus and going to classes, because I have all my scripts in my notes. And so like, if I'm sitting in class talking to someone about keto coffee, I can still listen to my professor. And like, obviously I can't voice message, but I can go to my notes and just like copy and paste the conversation. And then like, when I'm walking from class to class, I can put stuff on my stories really quick. Or when I go to the bathroom, I can throw up my life post. So that's kind of how like I work it in school life.
See, I sat in class all the time on like Pinterest and like not doing stuff. I wish I would have just started this in school. I would have been so productive.
Seriously.
Have you ever used text replacements?
No, honestly, I'm too lazy to sit here and like put them all together, figure out how. Like, I'm always on over creating like stories that I just don't feel like it.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about in one of my chats today, and how helpful sometimes that can be.
I need to message you and ask you how to do it, because I honestly don't know how.
Okay, it's easier than you think, and especially if you just do it as you go. Like, don't sit down and take 5 hours to like do every single one, but like the next time you go copy a keto copy script, just put that in your notes real quick. You know what I mean? Or your text replacements. I'll like send you a screen recording or whatever. And then for everyone else, if you need to know how, I'm pretty sure Caitlin just did, or a couple people actually might have done post about it in our team page, and then someone, maybe Jaden, I forget her last name, but one of the Jadens posted on the page about like the Android app. There's like one for not Apple stuff. I forget what it's called, like Wordboard maybe, but there is an option for not Android people. Alrighty. If anyone has any questions that you think of, put them in the chat too. I haven't seen any yet, but this is so good. This is like jam-packed of really good stuff.
Oh, and I just thought of something. So probably like what I could leave y'all if y'all don't have questions, but is one thing that really helped me in the business was like self-development, because before the business, obviously I was in a rough place, struggling, so I was in a negative mindset. But when I joined the business, I was super excited and just ran with that excitement. But then I started getting like mean messages, people talking about me, people waiting for me to quit and all this stuff. And I went to my enroller and I was like, what do I do? Because these messages are kind of starting to get to me. And she sent me a personal development video. And once I started watching those every single morning, it didn't matter what nobody said to me. I didn't care because I had like Rachel Hollis in my mind all day, so I was good to go. And that's what I still do today, because I still get me messages or whatever, or people, if they're having a bad day, they're gonna take it out on me. And it's not necessarily my fault. I'm just the first person that they're talking to. So that's helped me so much with knowing like I am doing the right thing, I am in the right spot, and
Yeah, I didn't even know what personal development was. And then as soon as I started listening to it, I went from, I was a Ruby getting paid as like an executive, I think. And I started listening to personal development, and like, I think that like month I started listening to personal development, I went from getting paid as an executive to Emerald. And then like 2 months later went Diamond. Like, and I will say hands down, it's because of personal development.
yeah.
Let's see. So Over is an app. It's kind of expensive. I just told Carter like last week how much I paid for Over, and he was not happy. But Over is an app you can use. There's plenty of free ones if you don't want to pay though. There's Unfold is free, and then I forget, someone just found another cute one that has been free. Let's see. I've used PixArt before. Canva. I've used Canva. Canva is very similar to Over. And it's free, but you can like buy like stickers and stuff. I obviously have never bought any like stickers. Over just comes with like all of the things, all the fonts and all that kind of stuff. Do you pretty much only use Over, or what do you use, Chrissy?
Yeah, I just did a training last night on how to use Over, and I realized that there's a free portion to it that like, you can still use like some of the templates, some of the fonts. You just don't get like everything. So I wish I would have known that before I paid for it, but it's whatever.
See, I paid for it when this was like very beginning of the year, and you could actually like share stories in like a circle, and that's when like everyone was like, oh, download Over, and like Jade's Diamonds had this like story sharing folder, and then we all got it and they took that part away. We're like, oh cool. But I still use it for almost everything now. I feel guilty if I don't use it. I feel like I'm cheating on Over if I use a different app since I'm paying for it.
But like when I first started and it was broke, I used Unfold.
Yeah, I use Unfold for everything.
Easy to use.
Canva, it takes a while to figure out on your phone. I actually used Canva when I was in college, and I was our like PR and recruitment chair, which is kind of funny, like looking back, like PR and recruitment, that's like what we do now. But I was our PR and recruitment chair, and we used Canva for our like social media stuff and flyers and whatnot. So it's easier on the computer. Obviously, we're not going to sit down on the computer and like make a story, but it does take some time to get used to on your phone. I feel like it was made for a computer, and then they just like transferred it to your phone. But it's once you get the hang of it, it's fine. It might even help if you like mess around with it on the computer first, because it's easier, and then you could try it on your phone. But yeah, Canva is really good. Alrighty, does anyone have any other questions? I feel like you covered everything that I had for you. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. I was so excited for this. Oh, do I see something?
So much fun.
Oh, Amy said, wait. She must be typing up a question. Or you can unmute yourself, Amy, if you want.
Okay, I'll just unmute myself. I was just gonna ask if you could send over that little script that she had for her for her dirt list, because that was like sounded really like something that I could send. I haven't really reached out to like friends and family as much, because I feel like it's like when I'm reaching out to people that I don't know as well, I feel like the scripts that I have are better for them rather than people that are more personal to me.
Yeah, I'll send you like everything that I said. That way you can send it to your team.
Okay, that'd be perfect. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Alrighty, I will get this up at some point, probably tomorrow, and we'll probably have to watch the recording because this was so good. I'm gonna watch it like 5 times. All right, I'm gonna end this and then I'm gonna jump back on my Zoom if anyone wants to do a work Zoom. I'll probably be on for like 30, 45 more minutes, but I'll end this meeting so it ends the recording. Or I guess I could probably just stop it.